I'm good, Sin. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am well. And let me just say, guys, off camera, we've had or been having such amazing conversation that we'll leave a laugh. All right, so before we begin, guys, get your journals. In a while, get your journals, get your water, and let's get to this. I read your story online, and you are no stranger to trauma as you went through your own ordeal after giving birth to your daughter in March 2020. You described this moment as an eye opener. Share what that was for us.
I pretty much, I never saw the white light like people always say they see the white light, when you're at death's door. But I did feel like it was a moment not to take for granted and to realize just how blessed I am. Right. When I was going into surgery that day, I scheduled my C-section and I woke up feeling off, which is not usually me. My spirit was off, everything was off. I called my mom. I called my bishop because I have a close knit relationship with her. I'm Christian, so they prayed over me, Psalm 23 all the way through, but still, like, there's just something was just off. Yeah. But I kept it cool, kept it calm, and just after everything transpired, I went in on the table. For moms who know, a C-section is pretty quick. Your baby comes out within like 20 minutes. So baby was out, but then the room, like the energy in the room shifted. Like it just got so heavy. Everything was going great. Right. My nurse was amazing. I think her name was Gabby. And then I had so Dennis, best anesthesiologist ever. He was so tall, so handsome. But he really guided me through the process. He came to me. He said to me, "Listen, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to give you a spinal tap, standard procedure. Spinal tap. That's the one that lasts for like 2 hours. No, or like an hour, I think. And it starts to wear off. Standard goes in your back in your 7th vertebrae, I think, or something like that. Boom. So we're good. We have that all covered. So I'm on the table now, of course, like a stretch out girl, can't do nothing. Paralyzed from my waist down. Baby's out. Boom. She comes out looking just like her father. Stress me out. But it's fine. It's okay. And I realized that literally the room went like, I swear to you, I felt it like it just shifted because everything was so good. Everybody was so happy. And then just all of a sudden it went like left. Wow. And then I'm there like,
yes. Okay. Can you imagine what's going through your mind?
Girl, because I'm like this. Yeah. You know how it is. On the C-section, I can't move. So I'm just there looking around, but I'm noticing, especially Gabby. So I noticed that Gabby, her eyes was a nurse. Gabby's eyes were terrified. Was it Jamie? Oh my God, sorry. But anyways, the nurse's eyes, her eyes were they looked like they were almost care-filled. But then I looked away because I'm like, okay, I don't want to know what's happening. But anyways, I'm there, and then Dennis comes to me, and he's putting in. So the IV was in my right hand, but he's putting in another one in my left hand, and I'm just there looking at him like, what's happening? And after he puts it in, he holds my head just like this, and he says, okay, champ, listen, we're gonna need you to just stay strong right now. You're good. You're just losing a little blood. We're gonna put it back. That's all that this is. So I said, oh, okay, cool. Keeping it calm, keeping it cash.
As cash as you can.
And then I don't know how much longer after, but I do know that I was just there trying to figure out what was happening. My doctor, the lead doctor, came to the side and seen the woman was covered in blood, like from her neck all the way down to her feet, like red. Like her clothes, you don't know the color of her clothes anymore because she was covered in blood. And I'm looking at her like, keeping it cash again, trying not to freak out. And her eyes were really red. And she says to me, you remember that paper that I had you sign earlier? And I'm like, yeah, which one of them? And she's like, the one where if I have to save your life, then I have to do what I have to do. So I said, yeah, I think I remember that. And she goes, well, that time has come. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to cry. 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 And I was like, oh, okay, what's happening? And she goes, it was placenta accreta. So my placenta got embedded into my uterus, and they were trying so hard to take it out, and it wasn't moving, it wasn't budging. And if the placenta stays inside you,
yes,
you
yes,
die.
Yes,
so she was like, I'm so sorry, but I have to take your uterus out. And I was like, okay, right. You gotta do what you gotta do. Right. And then she goes, you want me to tell your husband no, or do you want me to wait until later? And I'm like, no, you can call him. Bad idea, girl. I'm walking out of the room, and it was just waterworks.
Because he walked into something like the trauma
the trauma, and I let it all out, and then it was just there, and then the spinal tap started to wear off. Girl, I know. Yeah, the spinal tap started to wear off. I wasn't feeling pain or anything, but I started to feel the pressure of them inside my stomach, and I was just like, yo, you need to knock me out right now. You need to knock me out right now. And within seconds, I was out. Woke up at 4, felt good. So Dylan was born, my daughter. She was born at 12. Mm-hmm. And then I woke up at about 4:30, surrounded by my entire doctoral team. And, they're all looking at, are you okay? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm good. What's good? What's going on? And that's when they told me everything. And everybody just kind of looked so sad. And I was just like, no, I'm good. Mm-hmm. I think what was happening was my doctor said the thing that she was most sad about was because I was so young. She was like, I've never had to do something like that for somebody your age. Like, that's crazy. She felt bad. And I was just like, listen, you saved my life. Correct. And I lost 4.8 liters of blood. Correct. And the human body has like 5.5. Right. So I was like, right there. And I'm ONED.
Look. All right. So we're talking about gratitude and living in a grateful space, right?
Absolutely.
So imagine now you went through this ordeal, and your team that's around you are just completely, and you're just grateful that your life was
grateful, girl. And I've always been big on gratitude because it's like we're here, we wake up. Everything else to me is just noise. Yeah. Everything else is like natural human ability. But like I feel like at the end of the day, once you can look at things and say, okay, I'm grateful for this. This happened, but I'm grateful that I can still do this. I'm grateful that I can still do that. Gratitude is so important. So important.
Have you and your husband been able to work through that trauma?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And what steps did you guys have to take?
Well, for me, the first thing I had to listen to his side. Like I had to see it from his perspective.
Correct.
Like, okay, because I knew it was different.
Yeah. Because he walked in and
he describes it as a war zone. That's how he described it, like a bloodbath. So we did that, and then for me, it was just that moment to get back to me, and it was crazy because since back in 2016, I decided to take a break from music because I just felt like it wasn't about me anymore. It was more about people's expectations of me, and I felt like I had lost myself in the moment. So I took a couple of steps back and I was like, you know what? Let me see what life has for me other than because I was tunnel visioning in where music was concerned because that's my love, that's my passion, and after that it was I came last to everybody else. So it was the kids, it was my family, it was everything else was first, and then now in that moment when that happened, I was like, okay, back to me. Back to because if I'm not okay, then nobody else can be okay. And I'm the captain of the ship. And if the captain isn't okay, then who's going to sail the ship?
And I applaud you for identifying that you were not okay.
Yeah.
In the heights of, you're an artist, you're a celebrity. In the glitz and the glamour and the demand that's on your life to create, to show up, to always be flawless, to identify that, no, this isn't feeling right for me. That's a big step.
Yeah.
That is a big step. I want to tell you, this is why, and let me not generalize here, this is just my thoughts. A lot of our artists, a lot of our, I don't want anybody to come after me. A lot of artists, celebrities, on all walks of life, do not listen, or they hear it, but they don't take heed to whatever that voice is, and they continue to push and push and push and push. And then that's when you find all these different things enter, drugs and addiction to this and to that. And so having identified it and take the step back, because even some people would say, boy, I know if I take a step back, people are going to see it me failing. Or it's me. I mean, that's brilliant. That's big, Danique. You want to be applauded for that. I mean, that is me. I'm hearing me. I'm going to protect my mental wellness before I go down this road.
I can't give you my best if I'm not at my best.
Did y'all hear that? All right. Danique, you released a track titled Champion because, guys, I mean, the champ is here. All right, which motivates and inspires others to keep pushing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't even have to ask, what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, of course, what happened to me, one, but it was more than just one thing. It was a confluence of events. It was like, I saw just everything. It was like I was looking at a spiel of my life, just playing in front of me. And I was like, I want something that can depict this. And I want something that people can also use to motivate themselves, because it's so easy. Like, as human beings, we go into this state sometimes where we want to give up, where we don't feel like what we're doing is enough, where we lose faith, we lose hope. And I feel like that's the worst thing that can happen to a human being. I feel like the worst thing that can happen is when you lose hope. Yes. Because when you lose hope, you stop trying. Yes. You completely give up. So it's like you're just an empty shell, just wandering, and just doing
autopilot.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So for me, that's what Champion was about. And I called Zoom, who's I'm signed to Good Productions. Zoom is my manager, and I called him and I was like, yo, I want to do a song that depicts that, not just what I went through or what I've been through in my life, but that people can also use for themselves too. If ever they're feeling down, if ever they feel like they can't make it. I remember my mom told me a story. Her mom always told her, don't listen to the noise in the market. And for pretty much anybody that don't understand patois, it's literally block out the noise. Don't listen to just tunnel vision. Focus on yourself. Focus on your path. This is your role. This is what you came to do. I mean, I said it. Know your role and stick with it. And I mean, I said it in Proud Wife, but when you generalize it, it makes sense. Like, this is your role in life. What's your purpose? What's your role? A lot of us don't know what our genuine purpose is, but if you continue to commit to the work, to bettering yourself, you're going to figure it out. And even if you don't figure it out at the time or all at once, you will eventually just continue to commit to the work.
Yeah, one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and I have this thing that I do where it's recognize, decide, commit, and then evolve. I feel like the only way that you can grow, and I've used it on myself for so many years, is when you recognize the issue, decide that you're going to fix the issue if it needs to be fixed, then you have to commit to doing the work. So for me, it's like 10 steps forward, 2 steps back. Oh, but I'm still 8 steps ahead.
Jeez. Look, wait. Again, I hope you guys are joining me. Dropping gems. We're going to jump to a quick commercial break. When we come back, more with the champion. The champ is in the building, y'all. Danique.
Irie Jam. 93.5 VIP. DreamWeekendNY.com. New York City, the Caribbean's largest party festival, touches down August 27th through 29th with a superstar lineup of DJs and entertainers. New York's finest Jabba, DJ Spin King, Platinum Kids, Young Chow, DJ Entourage, DJ Paul Michaels, Sal Infrared, Max Glazer, Ricky Platinum from DC, Stone Love, DJ Suave, Hollywood Butter, DJ Back to Basics, and Tony X, Noah Power, DJ Polish, Major Penny, and Travis World, DJ Kid and Entourage. And joined by Jamaica's hottest sound, Chromatic and Copper Shot, Queen of the Dance Hall, Spice, performing live, Bungie Garland, Afro B, Nyla Blackman, Ronnie, Ching Ching, at G, and Capella Gray. Get your tickets online now at DreamWeekendNY.com.
So you are rebuilding your business, but you're having a tough time finding good quality professional support. You know, the kind of executive that's not necessarily there 40 hours per week or even 20 hours per week, but someone that answers your phone, types your letters, a little bit of social media, a little bit of marketing whenever you need to. Call the admin pool. We're a specialized team of remote professionals across diverse business backgrounds. Call 516-204-5011. 516-204-5011. The admin pool. We don't know it all, but together we can make a difference.
Brand new album from Vibes Cartel, the undisputed boss of the dance hall. Confidence featuring hit singles. Vibes Cartel, Confidence, available on all digital platforms. Distributed by Happilus, your music everywhere.
Sunday, August 29th, Mr. Hype and Dwight invite you to the end of Summer White on Top of White Cruise. Get ready to be entertained. Get ready to enjoy a night on the ocean aboard the Paddle Wheel Queen, departing World's Fair Marina City Field. Boarding time is 6 p.m. Departure time 7 p.m. And everyone enjoys a complimentary buffet with music by Big Youths, Love Line, and Fire Blacks from Cinemax. For the end of summer, white on top of white cruise. Limited advance tickets are $60 more at the pier. For tickets and more info, call or text 337-292-9623. It's here. Sunday, August 29th. No passport required. It's the White and Dwight's end of summer white on top of white cruise. Departure time 7 p.m. One not to miss.
I got my peaches out in Georgia.
For years, we've been saying support those in your community. For years, we've been saying support the small business. It can become a big business. I'm proud to announce the first Caribbean car dealership in Great Neck, Long Island. Superb Motors. It's Superb Motors. Caribbean-owned Superb Motors. Over 300 pre-owned vehicles in inventory. 2-level indoor showroom. Superb can also get you any new car you like. It's your one-stop shop when it comes to buying a car. Mercedes, BMW, Honda, Nissan, Superb Motors. 215 Northern Boulevard in Great Neck, Long Island. For more information, call 1-800-509-3102. Superb Motors, 1-800-509-3102. Ford, Audi, Jaguar, Range, you name it, they have it. Superb Motors. Great Neck, Long Island, Caribbean owned. Superb Motors, it's your one-stop shop buying a car.
Burgers with the unassociate. With the unassociate. Associate. With the unassociate. With the unassociate. Associate. You get hurt on the journey. Call your serious injury attorney. Say the number of people you feel learning. 888-797-7735. You heard me? 888-797-7735.
You're listening to Irie Jam.
Welcome back to Chasing Purpose, heard right here in Jamaica on the Bridge 99 FM and in the New York tri-state area on Irie Jam Radio. We are joined by the beautiful Denise. Before we went to break, you talked to us, you shared with us about something that you practice in your life, these steps. I want you to break them down again for me.
All right, so I'm big on growth, like I told you. So recognize, decide, commit, and eventually evolve. That leads to evolvement, that leads to growth. So the first step is always to recognize the issue. Then you have to decide whether or not you're going to fix the issue. Now, if you decide not to fix the issue, okay, no problem. But if you do decide to fix the issue, the next step is to commit to the work that's necessary to fix that issue.
So I'm going to just pause you right there. Recognize, decide. What was the last one?
Commit.
So just to kind of tie things back in for us here who would have watched Chasing Purpose 2 shows ago. I recognized that I was going through something.
Right. You can also say acknowledge.
Right. We've acknowledged that. I've now decided to take that step. And as you said, the work is hard. And I don't even reach nowhere yet. But the work is hard. But I do believe after you begin to commit, you do the work. What I believe that evolution that you speak about, that evolution, I believe, is something that's going to be so beautiful. That is so beautiful because you've gone through it and you continue to. That is something that I also think that is important to recognize, right? As we go through life, we're on this purpose journey. There are going to be things life throws curveballs
All the time.
all the time.
Life is the greatest teacher.
The greatest teacher.
It is.
The
It's
greatest
just,
teacher.
are you paying attention to the lessons? Because they're there all the time.
They are.
In the smallest
They're there.
instances, it's just that, are you paying attention? Are you noticing?
Yes.
And a lot of times, as human beings, we don't realize that we have the power.
I said all the time,
the power is
have
in
it.
choice.
Yes.
The power is in choice. It's what you
Yes.
choose to do. You always have. So when you hear people say, "Oh, I have no choice," or "I had no other option," you do.
You do.
But with every choice comes a consequence. So which consequence are you willing to, really take on?
Yeah.
We all have choice.
Yeah. We all have choice. That's another purpose, but we all have choice.
Yep.
And it as she says, it's the consequence, right? I made the choice
Yep.
to come here You made the choice to
come here today. Exactly.
And whatever happens past that, you would have made that choice.
Absolutely.
It's going to anybody's head to do anything.
Mm-mm.
It is the we have the power.
Absolutely.
Look, I love her. I don't know this girl. No, but me love her. Good, love her. All right, you are described as having an awareness of self and authenticity. When I read that in your bio, y'all won't kill me for this. You know, when you do a resume, you put all these pretty words in, and the same thing I do when I see these bios, all these grand words. But I'm gonna tell you now, as she sits before me, in front of her face, behind our back, she is in a little bit of time. She is authentic. All right, but talk to us, because a lot of people do not carry themselves authentic, or they put on this persona, but like camera on, off, as she is. Okay, talk to us about the self-awareness, because being aware of self is very important, and even important to being authentic to yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, how can you be authentic to yourself?
Right. I feel, for me, I struggled with low self-esteem in high school, and I was always So I was really, really skinny, really, really big head. My head's still big, but I've grown into my head now. Thank you, Jesus.
I've seen some head.
But no, my mother bad, and I was a tomboy. So of course, in high school, everybody has a boyfriend, but nobody wanted to be the tomboy's boyfriend. Everybody just wanted to be the best friend. So I had that struggle until I went to college, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna be better. My best friend at the time, I'll never forget her. She really, really did her part in turning me into a girly girl, and was really teaching me a lot. And I had another friend at the time too, who really, really taught me a lot and really honed me as a woman. But throughout it all, I had to realize that the onus was upon me to build my own confidence. And every single time something happened, of course, we go back and forth all the time. Sometimes we want to blame everybody else, and we go through that motion. I've been there, but then I got to the point where I'm like, when I can't pinpoint something, I always come back to me. Like, okay, so I'm not really blaming myself, but it's like, what did I do to help this situation become what it was? And I feel like if more people need to do that, because we all play a part in something. Even if you didn't, it's not you doing anything wrong. You didn't have to do anything wrong. But what part did you play? It's like I remember I was talking to somebody, and they were telling me how they got on a flight the flight was from Dubai to New York, but they had to stop over in Germany. And when he stopped over in Germany, he missed his flight to New York. And then he started to blame the airline and everything. And then when he stepped back, he was like, no, but it's my fault because I never read my itinerary.
Yes.
And I was like, as simple as that is, that's so powerful, because really and truly, you're so right. So you can blame the airlines all you want, but really and truly, bro, you didn't read your itinerary to see that this stopover in Germany was only 2 hours.
Right.
So you had to keep it going and keep it moving. So little things like that, I always find a way to come back to me. Like okay, what part did I play? And then when I figured that out, I'm like, okay, cool. Boom. I feel better.
Come back to me. That's a major key in life. And I think a lot of us do not do or even realize
it.
As you're saying it, I'm just like,
your brain starts to flip like a trailer.
I need to reassess, how did I play a part in this? In your Bridget who missed the flight. If you just looked and said, all right, the flight, I gotta leave from this time, whatever, I need to be at the gate. We blame everybody else and everybody else. We do not realize that the onus is here.
You're in control.
We are in control.
You're in control. Girl, listen, I went through a phase where and just it's growing pains. We're growing through. We're figuring out who we are. We're figuring out ourselves. And I went through a phase where I wanted to tell everybody what to do. No, you can't do that. No, you can't. Because I knew I was right. I knew I had the information. I know I'm right. So why not share this? But people would always misinterpret it as me being pushy, as me being a bully, as me being, and then I realized that some people just aren't ready to hear what I have to say. And then I also realized that it's not them, it's me, because I can't control them. So if I'm in a space, so for example, if I'm in a space and there's somebody or people there that I don't want there, instead of saying, yo, you need to leave,
No, you take yourself.
then I move.
Yeah. You are giving me job. You're giving me life. You're giving me life. I'm liking what I'm feeling here. And you spoke about evolving, but how have you evolved from, let's say, from high school where you were this tomboy,
girl,
to where you are this beautiful person that's before me today?
So much. I've evolved so much. I've learned so much. I take all my ups as graciously as I take all my downs as graciously as I take my ups, because I feel like that's necessary. And I'm not that little girl anymore, but separate and apart from what society or people deem adulthood or grown up. You have 2 kids, you this and that. But for me, like everything that I am now comes from inside, because I'm doing the groundwork. I'm doing that I'm facing my traumas and everything now. No matter what happens, I try to relate it back. So I have this. I mean, I can share it. I have this. I had this insecurity where if I didn't know how to recognize that I was loved. I didn't know how to feel loved. So my dad said I love you all the time. He had no problem saying I love you. My mom never said it. My mom started telling me she loved me, I think, when I was in my 20s.
40 for me, but
there we go.
One of the show.
So, but even though my dad,
love you, Mom.
But even though my dad would always say I love you, he never showed his affection. So my parents were not affectionate. So my parents weren't affectionate at all. And then here comes me, their baby, the last one, who craves affection. My sister is 6 years older than me. I think my brother is like 10 or 12. I can't remember. But I wasn't planned for a vex and vex and a little makeup sex, and boom, she breed. Sorry, Mom.
And the child was birthed.
And the child was birthed. Thank you, Sin. So yeah, they didn't know how to show affection, but I craved it so much. And then because I never got affection from my brother and sister, it was like, oh my God. So now, in instances in my adult life now where I don't feel loved or I don't feel like I'm being affection is being shown to me, I kind of jump back to that and I think, okay, be who you needed then. Now, be who you needed then now. And so I pour into myself more, and I recognize like when I need something from somebody and they can't give it to me, I need to give it to myself.
Powerful. Life is being given tonight. Danique, our champion, she's giving me everything I've wanted.
Oh.
Again, I don't know the girl from nowhere. We barely know her music because I'm a 90s girl. Soul music and something there. But, and first and foremost, you guys follow my Instagram. She have on Instagram, by the way. But you really are, you're filling me up. And I love when the energy, when my guests give me energy and give me inspiration. So important. There's so much that you said before you went to break that I want to unpack.
Talk to me.
Why is it important that we dwell in gratitude?
Gratitude reminds us, it's important that we dwell in gratitude because gratitude reminds us of what we have, of, I don't want to say what other people don't have, but it's not a comparison I want to make, but it's a reality. Where we don't, yes, we all get the same 24/7. We get the same 24 hours in a day, but we all don't get the same opportunities. Right. So it's important to dwell in a place of gratitude because it's important to recognize and realize that what we have is for us. I feel like what is for you cannot be on for you. Can't unfeel. Nobody can take it away from you. And this is why I chill. Yeah. I work really hard. My work ethic is through the roof. However, I don't chase anything in desperation because I feel like when you get desperate, that's when it runs from you. Come and fun you.
Because you see that chasing thing that, mind you, yes, the show's called
Chasing Purpose, but still.
But that, what I feel, not gonna feel.
Not gonna
And that is something that I don't think a lot of us understand. We put ourselves in this position to be desperate. We put ourselves in this position where we're forgetting who we are, who our authentic selves are, because we're running down something. But when in essence, if it is for you, no matter if it's years down the line, whether if it's right now, it is not going to pass you. It will not pass you.
And a lot of the times people confuse hunger with desperation. There's a big difference.
And they confuse setbacks for set-ups. I believe I am a testimony, a testament that every setback, every door closed, every no,
every rejection is a redirection. Girl.
Every rejection is a redirection.
I cannot tell you how many times in my life I have heard no. There was a period like between 2018, I did a lot of TV. I love TV. I really want to get into acting. Very cool. Oh, thank you. I really want to get into acting. That's like TV is my first love.
And you should.
So there was a point, I think, saying it was between, I want to say between 2017 and 2019, where every single thing I asked for. Now I was stepping outside of my comfort zone because I'm like, no, I need to do things. I need to feel like I'm doing things. I need to feel like I'm working. If I asked for 20 things, I heard no 21 times. And then I had to take a step back and realize that you're desperate right now. That's no bueno.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Yeah.
Go back to yourself. Go back to self. Figure out what it is that you're really looking for, what it is that you really want, and just put in the work where that's concerned. Yeah. Stop trying to be these other things that don't align with who you are or who you want to be. Because a lot of the times we just do things just because we have to or we can. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have to go through that period sometimes in life where we do something because we have to do it. But when you run down something, like you said, that's not yours. Like it should you say, yo, this is not your own, you don't happy. It's spinning you in circles, it's making you uncomfortable, it's making you upset. You're losing yourself. Yeah, you're great at it, but at what cost?
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
Yeah. Look, we have all been victims of this.
Absolutely.
And this is life. You're going to be a victim of it again.
Of course.
But we go back to that word: recognize,
decide, commit, evolve.
And you said something that also jumped out at me a while ago: is do the work. Do the work, because even if it is for you, right? Even if it is for you, if you don't put in the work,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Faith without works is dead.
Dead. And block the noise. Listen, me, sin, I don't see. It's no disrespect to anybody, but I don't see anybody because respectfully. I am on my path. I'm on my journey. I'm in my lane. I don't have time. I have blinders. I genuinely give love to people because I know what that's like to not have love given to you or to not feel like, nobody appreciates what you're doing. Right. But separate and apart from that, I'm just genuinely happy to see people win. It's crazy. Like if me win, I want everybody to win.
A lot of people don't have that mindset.
No.
I'm telling you, if
we're in balance still, we all can't win. Right. But no, let me correct myself.
If I am winning, if I have a piece of bread, I want to ensure that it's divvied up.
Right.
Somebody called me like a mother hen. I'm mothering when I do that. But no, I generally want people to feel good. I want people to feel loved in my space. Not just my family, but my work family. Anybody have an interaction with, you want to leave them feeling lighter.
You do. But you also have to be careful with that too. True. You also have to be careful because at the end of the day, not everybody has that mindset.
Truth.
And people will probably think you're doing too much or you're coming outside of yourself. So for me, I genuinely love everybody. I have love for everybody, but a lot of people I love from a distance.
Yeah, I love you from afar.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, and that's fine. And that's fine.
That's perfectly
That's
fine.
fine. There's nothing-
And that's
nothing
okay.
wrong with
Just
that.
like, forgiveness. People don't understand that forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person.
Yes.
Because when them gone on them bed at night time and you up a stress out, them good. They're sleeping soundly.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is for you.
Yeah.
However, when you forgive someone, you do not have to be their friend again.
Yes.
You do not have to be the same as before.
Yes. No.
Because when you go back into it, it's okay, somebody hurt you, you forgive them, but you go back into the same cycle.
No,
What do you think's going to happen? The same thing is going to happen again.
Yeah, man.
So even if you're going to re-engage in a relationship or re-engage in a friendship or whatever it may be, you have to know that there are going to be boundaries.
Boundaries. I was just going to say that, boundaries.
Yeah.
And let's jump to that. You have love for everybody. It's what you do. You're a lover. You give love, right? Boundaries. How do we set up the boundaries? It's important, as you said, with me being that mothering type, it's important that I identify as not always good.
Identify. There we go.
Identify.
There we go. You just said it.
Identify.
We have to know ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to be aware of self. And a lot of times people need to remember too that, I think I make it sound easy when I say things like self-love and self-awareness. We make it sound easy. It's not.
No.
It's hard. It's dark. You have to face your darkness, because without light, there's no darkness. Without darkness, there's no light. They go hand in hand. We need balance. We need equilibrium in the world. So just like there's heaven and hell, just like there's God and the devil, all of these things, we need balance. There's up, there's down, there's back, there's forth. Now we need to always remember. Sorry, I'm totally losing my train of thought, but you get me.
Yes. Yeah. No, there is. We need.
No, man. The balance. It's not easy. So as much as we're here talking about it, guys, it's not something that it's just gonna happen overnight.
No.
Get out of that mentality. And this is why I say to commit to the work, because this is when people give up. When they commit to the work, but then it gets too hard, or something bad happens, and they're like, yo, but I knew it. I was not supposed to do that. No. 10 steps forward, 2 steps back, you're still 8 steps ahead. You didn't go back to 1.
That is a major key. It's so important, because a lot of us give up when things get hard.
All the time.
We give up too easy.
Too easy.
Like, you ever see the post where the rabbit is pulling the carrot?
Yup.
Literally, the carrot,
and looking at the other person.
The other one.
So
again,
focused on the other
Focus
thing.
on self. Focus on self. Let me tell you guys something. There's no this cat's out the bag. I am a rape victim. I'm working through it. Rape victor. Excuse me.
There we go. Word, sound, power.
Word, sound, power. It's hard. Working through it is hard. It is not easy work. But because I know that something greater is on the other side of this,
Amen.
I'm going to climb the mountain.
Amen.
Because you see, when I reach that mountaintop, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But it's hard right now. I'm in the valley. I'm working it through. I'm in the dark place. But I'm working it through, because I know what is on the other side of that.
Oh, giving me goosebumps, dog.
When I tell you guys, my purpose source, is that healing happens for me during every show. I tell you no lie. Like, I'm being as vulnerable. The past few weeks I've been very, very vulnerable. I see that as a strength. But when I sit with someone like a Danique, like I'm working through the trauma. I feel the healing. I feel the breakthrough coming. And like I said before, this work is hard. It's not easy, because on top of doing the work, you have to have your everyday life. I have to come and shoot chasing purpose. I have to put the smile on my face. I have to run the business. I have to be a mom. I have to be a wife. But I still have to do the work. And it's possible, because like Danique said, if I'm not good,
how are you going to make sure everybody else is good?
How?
Just
how? All right.
No cap.
Danique, how do you nurture faith? Your faith?
I pray a lot. I have a really strong relationship with God. I have my bishop, and then I have another very faithful friend who kind of keeps me grounded, keeps me on my feet. If ever I feel like, and my prayers are mostly conversations, so it's not kneeling down, clasping hands, closing eyes. No, it's literally.
I think, well, not to cut you, but I think a lot of people get caught up in what that posturing should look like. Literally, is yo, God, wagwan.
My G, yo, come talk like
simple,
I don't really understand.
Yeah,
like just like that. That's how I talk to him.
Yeah. I love that. And that's something that we need to. It doesn't need to be this. No, we'll just say the Lord's Prayer after every prayer. No, it's just a conversation.
It is. And another thing that I realize a lot of people miss too is the fact that, which was hard for me at first, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand how to do it. I'm still learning how to do it. I think I'm almost at graduation. When you pray for something, when you set that intention, you pray to God, you ask God, you gotta let it go and leave it to Him. You can't keep on and go back and say, yo, Maji. So remember what I talked to you about last week?
Yep.
Now, if you're gonna bring it back up, you can say things like, hey, I'm still flustered about this. It's still on my mind, but I know that you're in control.
Yeah.
I know that you're taking care of it.
Yeah.
I know that you got me.
Yeah.
But we can't keep checking in, because prayers are, people like to call prayers wishes. However you want to describe it, it's still a prayer. It's still a conversation with God. I know people that hear His voice, a voice, God's voice, whatever it may be to them. But for me, the lessons are always His. He talks to me. I want to say not physically, but I have to see it. It's visual for me. The lessons are visual, and that doesn't mean just looking at the wall.
Right.
It's a situation
that you see
that I see that plays out. So it's different things for everybody. And again, just like you said, it's a journey to self. It's not you're gonna wake up and this is who I am. And this is the minute I feel like the minute somebody says that's just who I am, you need some therapy and you need to go get started. Because we have traits. We have certain character traits that are us. But the minute you say, I hear somebody say, yo, I just somebody say, that's just how I am. Nah, B. Nah. That's who you choose to be.
That's who you choose to be. Why do you think it's important to trust God's timing?
Wow. Goes back to what we were saying earlier about when you get into a desperate space. It's hard. Just like we said, everything that's worth having is hard. I feel like if it comes to, like for me, I question anything that comes to me too easy. Too easy. It's like, okay. And then another thing I do too is whenever something bad happens to me, I think, okay, what did I do back then? What did I do in my past to lead up to this moment? Or I flip it and say, okay, something amazing is about to happen. I flip it, and then it's the same thing. If something good happens, I'm like, okay, I got to prepare myself because the balance is coming. And, I have to prepare. It doesn't have to be big. It could be something small. But there's a balance that's coming to even this out. So, yeah, it's just like, that's it for me. It's like, it's all about balance and trusting God's timing, because it's so important to understand. And developing, I feel like when you develop faith within yourself, no matter what your beliefs are, it comes back to self. And your creator, if you're Christian, developing a solid relationship with God is so important.
As a parent, how do we ensure that our children are living with gratitude?
Oh, wow. Well, my parenting game just started, so I would say first thing, you need to remind them that mommy and daddy have money. You don't. You are not the money maker here. But no, more seriously, building up the relationship for our family. My family's Christian, our household, so building up a relationship with God, having them pray. I think I've started because with my son Connor, for every toy that he gets, it's every gift he gets is a toy and it's a car. So if he gets 10, I always tell him, okay, we're gonna give 4 to somebody else. Because you don't need 10 cars.
Yes.
Okay, sometimes 5 out of the same car. You don't need them. So we need to give back. And I think that's how, if I continue to do that, I think that will blossom into him understanding that it's important to be grateful for what you get and what you have, but you also need to give back.
Yeah. Very, very important. The give back is
because you have the capacity to. I feel like if you have the capacity to,
absolutely,
you know,
absolutely. The for me, the building up of the faith,
yeah,
the affirming them in what they're doing, like affirmations are
so
very, very,
so
very,
important.
very
Like
important.
my affirmation, not even cutting you. My affirmation for today was on my hood. I look fly. I look good. That was my affirmation for today.
No, but their affirmations are so empowering, and they're so important, especially to children in this world where this they're governed by not so much what's happening with their parents, but on TikTok, on Instagram,
social media.
like your babies are just 1 and 3. You said, hold on, little. Hold on. Right now, there's a TikTok campaign in my household, and a whole like, why can't I? Because my friends have. Because I am the boss of you, and we're saying no, you're not ready for TikTok. Because I don't even have TikTok. I don't even know what's on TikTok. I don't even want to know. But we digress. Gratitude is something that we need to be. Being grateful is something that we need to be instilling into our children, into our friends, into whoever, or who don't feel that they should be grateful for what they have and where they are. I can't tell you how much times I've seen or I've said, look, or I've heard, well, you know, I don't have this or whatever. But how about being thankful for what you do have?
Exactly.
What about what you do have?
Don't turn the negatives into positives.
Yes. Danique, are you chasing your purpose, or have you found your purpose?
I think I'm still chasing. I firmly, what I'm doing now is I am trusting myself with God's purpose for my life. Yeah. So instead of making it about me and my purpose, and I'm now trusting it to Him. Like, okay, what do you have slated for me? I'm going to walk in that path.
Yeah. And that speaks to this Bible verse, or was a quote, I don't remember. That let go and let God. We are so I don't know if it's hardwired to feel like we're in
human
control.
nature.
We need to be in control. We need to. If we just let go and let God,
He got you.
He got you. We have had so much fun on this show. I can't tell you how much cake cuts, BTS we have. Like, today was amazing.
It was.
The one of my favorite parts of the show. It is our epic intention cards. These are done by homie Stacey Hines.
Oh, shout out to Stacey.
Yeah, Stacey's a whole mood. I love her to death. Have you seen the epic intention cards?
I haven't. I mean, I have a box of cards of my own. They're called affirmators.
Affirmators. Oh, we have to talk about that. Yeah. Shuffle up the deck.
All right. Oh, yeah. Do I need to spit it too?
Yeah. A card shot.
Yo, I need a hat and a cigar. Put it on fast. Art department. Okay.
All right, you choose.
Just one?
Yep, just one. I will do the same.
Oh, wow.
All right. You share?
Ready?
Yep.
I am grateful. I feel an uplifting sense of gratitude for everyone and everything that is a part of my life experience.
Look, yeah, I'm get y'all some
energy.
Energy. Okay. I embody boldness.
Wow.
I take purpose-filled action towards the things that are in my best interest and the best interest of others, even when it may not be easy to do so. What I talk about today, guys. Putting that work is hard.
Gratitude and putting in the work. I mean, that's a shoot to the moon. Oh,
Danique, you are light.
Thank you.
You
a little bit of darkness.
We all have a little bit of darkness. You're bold. You're authentic. I can see the love, and I see such brightness in your future. I look forward. I will now follow and be. I'm now a fan.
Appreciate you.
No, man, your energy is infectious. God, see it. You've been a blessing.
Thank you.
Where can everybody find?
Well, you know, I don't really like to be found, but you know. But if you want to check me out, I'm on Instagram at the TheDenyque. Check out my Vivo. I just dropped a new video produced by eMudio called Pretty. My new song.
And the visuals are dope.
The visuals are really dope. Style by Bootleg Rockstar, shot by Sweat and Bling Blang Work.
Big up yourself.
Big up, Nico. My video for Champion is dropping pretty soon. Champion is produced by the home team. Good productions. And of course, you know, run up the views. It's Denique Vivo, youtube.com/Denique Vivo. And whatchamacallit, I think that's it. Just stay tuned. Yo, whole heap of new music coming, whole heap of good vibes. Yo, you guys are gonna wanna stay tuned for what's about to pop off.
Denique, thank you for sharing space and time with us.
Thank you too.
An attitude of gratitude determines the quality of life that we will live or enjoy. Be intentional about expressing gratefulness every day. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Before we leave, I just want to give our thoughts and our prayers to all of our sisters and brothers over in Haiti. Our prayers are with you. God bless and good night.